Bum, 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 bum. I'm Vengeance. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. For today's review, we have 3 figures from the upcoming The Batman movie. For some reason, the Penguin figure won't be released for a while, at least to the public. We're going to start off with the Riddler. Here is the Riddler unboxed, and the figure itself looks really nice. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of this look for the Riddler. I mean, he's just got a green coat and a weird mask with glasses over it. I get what they're going for, though. He's a more creepy looking Riddler. I heard that they wanted more of a serial killer look, which definitely encapsulates that, I think. His only accessory is a little shovel, I think, a little hand shovel. So I'm sure in the film we'll figure out more what that's about. But one cool thing, on the trading card, the data file does give us some information about him, and I'll read that. It says, "The Riddler has quickly established himself as Gotham's deadliest threat yet. This enigmatic masked killer has devised a sinister series of puzzles and tortuous devices to entrap Gotham's elite and publicly unmask the city's darkest truths." Interesting little tidbit, might tell us more about the movie. It looks like he's going after the elite of Gotham. That's something I wasn't aware of. Honestly, the Riddler is the character I'm excited to see the most. I think Paul Dano is an incredible actor, and I can't wait to see his take on the character. For the Riddler's articulation, the head can bend forward about that much, backward that much. He has this weird little flap that you'll see when you bend his head back. He can go side to side quite a bit. Can't really get him to go all the way because of the flap, but that's fine with me. His arms do completely extend. He does have bicep swivels, and they work great. Sometimes the characters, their muscles get in the way. His work really well. He also has butterfly joints, which are very loose and work well for my figure at least. Double jointed elbows. Those are always great. Must, in my opinion. He does have the ball jointed wrists, and they're about as you'd expect. Moving to the torso. Can bend forward a little bit, backwards a little bit, not a ton. You can feel that this obviously is one entire piece, so the articulation is beneath this piece. Just a thin plastic. For this character, I think the articulation is fine. For his leg, he does not have thigh swivels, which is a little bit of a shame. He can extend these out, but be careful, you could rip this if you try to extend too much. He does have double jointed knees and the ball ankle joints, which gives a bit of motion. And lastly, the toe pivot, and mine seems to be stuck. Whew, there we go. Pretty good articulation for the Riddler. Next up, we've got Catwoman. Here is Catwoman unboxed. Her suit is another one that I don't particularly love. It's kind of just bare bones, just black, and she's got like a bit of a beanie. I like that it kind of makes little ears, so that's nice, but I was really hoping for more of a comic book accurate suit for her, and we didn't really get it again. She comes with the whip and the card, and let's see what tidbit the card says. Selina Kyle is a mysterious figure who is quietly infiltrating Gotham's seedy underbelly to further her own agenda. Her fierce attitude and tenacious agility are the perfect tools to excel as a cat burglar, but hidden underneath the array of identities and the motorcycle leathers is a protective soul who's more at home with the city stray than its citizens. Here's a little bit of a close-up. Again, I like the little ears, but besides that, it's just kind of a, different shades of black. Got the heels on, which isn't very practical. Oh, sorry about that. Looks like I'm bleeding, but ignore that. So yeah, for articulation, doesn't move side to side much. She goes up about, not very much, a little bit. She can move down a bit. She can fully extend both arms. She does have butterflies, though they are really small and don't give a lot of motion. Bicep swivels, which work well. Double jointed elbows, which work really well. She's also got the ball wrists, which are covered by this little leather piece. Well, it's plastic, but for the movie it'll be leather. Those do impede her wrist movement a little bit, but she still can move quite a bit. Coming down, she does have torso articulation, can bend forward that much, backward quite a bit, which is good. Again, no thigh swivels, but she can fully do the splits, can move her thighs in and out like that. Most McFarlane Toys can. She's got double jointed knees, and her feet have the ball joint as well, and the toe pivots. So, great articulation for Catwoman as well. Last but certainly not least, we have got Batman himself, Robert Pattinson, as you might say. Here he is out of the box. He looks for the most part really nice, except my particular figure has quite a big error on it, and I'll show you that up close in a minute. First, I'll read the data file. The Batman is 2 years into his role as Gotham's embodiment of vengeance, a nocturnal vigilante who strikes fear in the hearts of criminals, a reclusive scion of Gotham's richest family. Questioning his family's legacy, the world's greatest detective stalks the streets at night, employing a lethal combination of mental mastery, physical strength, and expert technology on his journey to becoming the city's symbol of hope. The head sculpt is really nice. It looks like Robert Pattinson, like the film. Really pleased with it. So this is the mistake that my figure has. As you can see, they've got the cowl down right here. You can even see the little ears. But he's wearing the cowl. So this part is normally for the unmasked version. So there's a pretty big mistake. I don't like how it looks with cowl down and the cowl up. It looks like he's got a hoodie on. So I'm going to be sending it back. I would much rather have the corrected version, but that's what happened. Yours should not have this. It should just have the collar, like you see in the trailers. But as far as the rest of the figure, he looks really nice. I will say the hands are pretty weird. They have a really long palm, and it's easier to see on this one. His one accessory is the grappling gun, and it pops into the hand instead of him holding it. It's got a little peg, and you pop it in. Look how big his palm is and how tiny the fingers are. If you rotate it, it looks even weirder from this side. His fingers are tiny. So the hand just looks bad, and unfortunately there's no replacement hands. You know, it's a small detail, but weird that it's so off proportionally. I prefer the lighter gray for the suit, but at least it's not just completely black. It is a dark gray there. For the articulation, mine will be a little different because this thing gets in the way, but can go side a little bit. Not a lot. Goes down about that much, up that much again. This might change how mine is versus the regular. He does have these big shoulder pads which do kind of bend out of the way, but they either bunch up under the cape or they pop out of the cape. If you want the better movement, you'll need to pop them up and out. So he can't really extend his arms completely. I mean, he kind of can, but these kind of push him down. So pretty good. The cape and shoulder pads get in the way a little bit. Double jointed elbows, like he's trying to hear somebody. That's pretty funny. One thing I didn't notice, the little kind of bat pieces on his suit in this film are just straps that he's tightened. Kind of interesting. They made it a practical part of the suit instead of just design. You know, Nolan's was as well. It was blade, so interesting. Got just the all black utility belt. For articulation for the chest, he can bend back quite a bit and forward a bit as well. He does not have thigh pivots, and he can almost do the splits. He does have these weird knee pads that kind of cover the full knee. They don't inhibit any articulation. He does have double jointed knees. So his ankles, the boots get in the way a little bit. They cover the ankle pivot, but it is quite bendy material, so it works pretty well. And then the toe pivots, of course. Here we have all three together, and they look to be in scale with each other, which is always a must for me, so thank you, Todd and the team, for scaling them correctly. These guys look really nice together. Can't wait to see this new Batman universe expand. Here we've got him next to some other McFarlane Toys. He's a little bit smaller than that Three Jokers Batman, which is fine. And, you know, he looks in scale with both. If you're excited for the Batman, I would definitely recommend these figures. If you just want a Batman figure, this wouldn't be the one I'd recommend. I would recommend one of the comic versions. But that's just me. If you like movie figures, then these are great to pick up. Hopefully the Batman's great. By all accounts, it looks incredible. Fingers crossed. I do have some complaints. Looks like there's some quality control issues with these. Obviously my Batman figure isn't what was advertised. I'm not a huge fan of the design for some of these, but overall, I think they portray really well what we've seen from the trailer, and definitely were must-haves for me just because I'm obsessed, but also because I really love what this movie is looking to be. Thank you guys so much for giving this video a watch. If you would consider liking and subscribing, I would really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or evening.